It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. Few that'll really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their head, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I make niggas mad, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-pad, yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music. What are we? They like, what he on? This is Alpha and Omega, welcome home. This is not a song, this is a revelation, how they get a nigga gone. I need you a man, baby, I don't understand, baby. Pay your bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something if you need correction, that's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird hands, baby. It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough. Few that'll really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their head, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I make niggas mad, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-pad, yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music. What? Hey, turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities, and don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many shit I seen? Send them all. Take a risk or take a trip, you know I'm tripping for my dog. Who you with? Couple sergeants.
Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to this good old hymn live. The way I'll be fake crip walking in the back because I was getting my whole life. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be sure you are hitting the like button the moment that you enter, and also leave your commentary on our commentary or any thoughts that you maybe had on this film if you've already seen it. And if you haven't, we're about to spoil everything, so don't get in here being cute. I am going to bring out ladies first because, why not? My dog is in the house. King Nikki TV is in the back. Are you ready to talk about him?
Hey, Tyra. Yes, I am very ready. Thank you to the audience for being here. Thank you, Tyra. Let's get into him. I'm very excited.
Mm. another brethren, just my opinion, is also here. He shared his thoughts. He shared his thoughts on this. No, was it hot Satan trash? B, what was it? What was the title on that thumbnail to tell us how you were feeling about him? And are you ready to get into the movie even more?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. I am ready to get into the movie. That title was "Get Back, Satan Trash," because that's a good little description of how I feel about the movie. So I'm ready to talk about it. I didn't think I would, so thank you for the invitation. I thought I was done with it, but I was like, you know what? Hopefully, Tyra can break it down for me because I'll admit a lot of things may have flew over my head that I don't understand. It wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. And so I tried to forget about it. So I'm gonna do my best. But thank you for having me. I'm happy to be back with Nikki, and thank you for everybody for tuning in. Let's do this.
Yes, absolutely. B said, I thought I was done. You pulled me back in. I never was going to watch this Satan trash again in my life. Last but not least, coming on out, you love him, you know him. Dom with Screen Static is in the house. And are you ready to get into him?
Massive pause. But what's going on? I like what was said before. I thought I was done with this movie. I didn't even really want to talk about this movie when I left. I was like, I'm not going to engage in this. But when Tyra called, I got to make time. So I was like, let's try and have a civil debate about this. But yeah, I don't know.
Have open discussions about film anymore? Jeez. That show is trying to be automatically done. Well, I haven't. So okay, we're just going to go because I already see where this is going. Let me put us on up here on the screen and hit it here. And Nikki, I am going to come to you because don't meet your heroes. What were your overall thoughts? Small thoughts. Don't go on a rant. What were your overall thoughts? No, I'm just saying in general for the chat in here because I got slides galore. But just in the simplest way possible, what were your overall thoughts of him?
Why do I get the no rent disclaimer? But I will say my simplest overall thoughts. When I say I know nothing about football, I mean nothing. I know as much about football as astrophysics. I don't know anything. So when I walked out of this movie, I literally messaged Tyra, and I think I know everything I need to know about football now. Football is pretty much men's homoerotic power fantasy. That's what I walked away with my overall thoughts for this movie.
I like that homoerotic. The locker room is nothing but erotic. I'll tell you that. B, what about you? What were your overall thoughts of him?
I thought the casting was great. between Tyreek Withers and Marlon. They fit the role very well. I love their performances. They did a great job. Other than that, and the movie looked nice in parts. They did some things with the photos and effects that I did like, but other than that, I just thought it was an awful put together mess. Well, it wasn't put together; it was just something. I just story didn't make sense, plot completely unnecessary.
Oh,
Wasn't feeling it.
oh my God. Dom, what about you? Overall thoughts? You, you muted, Dom?
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad on it. This movie I think started well. I think it had the right ingredients. Like I said, the casting was great. I think what we were trying to get to was something that was worthy of exploration. I just think that we didn't get there. And honestly, I think the people involved were ill equipped to get us there. I think this is a derivative of the Tyler Perry and Spike Lee effect, where it's like you don't need a foundation, just do it. Just do it. Just tell your story. Just focus on the story, tell your story. You don't need a foundation in storytelling. Just do it on your own. I felt like
Oh, not you put him over there with Tyler. And I like how you threw Spike in there. You know how I feel about Spike.
I
And
know.
we ain't gonna even talk about that last film. We ain't gonna talk, we talk
Yeah,
about
but no, how you feel about Spike? No,
Street.
it's your boy. It's your boy.
But as far as my overall thoughts, of course there were some pros and cons because I dug for these pros. I dug
Ooh.
for these pros because unfortunately I did not have a lot of them. This was visually compelling. We had an identity in that way. We did some camera work. We did put an effort there. There was a concept here. There was a narrative. It was hard to put that over there in the pro side because it's like there was something here really worth exploring. Did we do it and execute it to the best of our ability? I don't know. The soundtrack. They had me at Gucci Mane Lemonade. I was outside. I was having a good time dancing because it's Gucci Mane. It's Gucci. I had a good time with that. Cons, acting, pacing, underdeveloped motive, characters, predictable. And I stopped it there because I didn't want it to get too long because we have more slides for that. I could go on. Nikki, you don't have to, but would you like to add anything here as far as your pros and cons? And do you agree with what I have here?
Yeah, I'll add because I think there's a lot of pros. I feel like the longer I sit with this movie, the more positive I feel about it, honestly. I feel like all the complaints that we tend to have as an audience that, oh, Hollywood is out of ideas, it's nothing new. I feel like this was really original. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've ever had like a sports center horror. And I actually think there's a lot to explore there with football being treated as a religion. Like there's so much you can do with it. There's body horror you could do. There's head trauma. Like there's a lot to play with.
Mhm.
It's a lot to play with as far as the concept, as far as thematically. And I feel like for this to be a first time director, this is his first feature film. I think it's his first feature film. I feel like
It kind of
visually,
is.
his acting, I mean, not his acting, his directing for me is really good. I actually thought a lot of stuff he did with the camera, a lot of stuff he did with the visuals were good. Now, I will say it's more style. It's not really anything underneath the surface, but I think there's a lot going on here. The most lackluster thing for me, honestly, is the lead. He was just so flat for me. I definitely think I've seen Marlon do much better dramatically, but I think Marlon did really well with the material given. But I think there's a lot of pros here. I'm excited to see what the filmmaker does next. I don't hate this movie. It wasn't 100% up my alley. I've only seen it once. I love to give it a rewatch, but I think there's a lot of good stuff here. I definitely agree with your cons though.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I do. I mean, it was, but everything you said still kind of falls under the umbrella for me for visuals and the concept. I can't kind of give you credit for what you didn't execute. Y'all know I'm a hard critic. I didn't know that until I met y'all, but I am. Dom, don't make that. Dom, since you're making that face, since you got your degree, I'm going to come to you next. Do you agree with these pros and cons? If so, is there anything that you want to add?
Well, I want to. I would actually switch a couple of these. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put visually compelling. Well, I'm gonna take off compelling and put the visuals and put them in the cons. And then I'm gonna take the acting. I'm gonna take the acting and put it in the pros because I think we've seen better from Marlon Wayans, but I think Marlon Wayans did a good job, and I think he did what he was asked to do. I think he executed what he was asked to do expertly, and I do agree that the lead was flat, but I think that was authentic because if you've ever seen one of these, and because if you've ever seen one of these football players right after they get drafted or right before they get drafted, they do these interviews or they do these 30 for 30 thing. They are the most wooden people. Yeah, I mean, you get a few characters. You get an Ocho Cinco, you get a Terrell Owens, you get a prime time. Every you get one or two a generation or a year or whatever. But most of these guys, when they talk about I'm from University of Michigan and I'm like, yeah, throw the football because we because stop. And so he seemed just like that. He seemed exactly like that. So I wasn't mad about that. But this was the second coming of Belly. This was a music video that went on way too long. This the visuals were straight out of like a MySpace music video. This is I didn't like the visuals at all, and they didn't serve a purpose. They didn't. To me, they didn't put they didn't punctuate anything. They didn't give me anything I didn't already have. I did not like these visuals. The cinematography was fine, but like the little the X-ray effect, the filter that he kept putting up, oh, that got on my nerves. Oh,
it reminded me of like Romeo Must Die when they would break the arm and you could like see it.
Yeah, I was like,
it gave me flawless victory. It was very
yeah. I was about to say this is some Mortal Kombat with too much money. They gave Mortal Kombat too big of a budget. If this is what I'm watching. No, but that was cool. It was that's it. The soundtrack though, you can stay in the pro.
Yeah,
stay in the pro.
Yeah. B, what about you?
Yeah, so I definitely agree for the visually compelling of the pros. That was possibly the best thing of the movie. The cinematography in this was great. I love that. A lot of dark blacks, reds, browns, and those are all dark colors, but they all stood out. I'm thinking when they was in the compound and everybody was showing up with the photography and oh, am I dreaming? It looked great. The acting though, you have that in the cons. I don't understand. I thought the acting between Marlon, Tariq, and the white lady, was it Julia Fox, I think. Thought the acting was great. They all made me uncomfortable in some way. So I'll give the acting. I in the pros, I agree with you in an infinity percent on the pacing. The pacing was awful. And it's not just that, it's just in movies in general. I do not like chapter breaks. I think it is very jarring. The transitions are never smooth. Even in my favorite movies, the last time I remember off the top of my head a transition break or chapter breaks that I like was Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. I think that came out in like 2017 or 18 or something like that. It was before the pandemic. That was, but I can't stand it. And so in this film, it goes over a week. Well, it's not a period piece, but it starts out in the past and then it goes to the present day. Then he's at the camp for a week, 7 days. And so it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By the time we at the third day, I'm like, oh my God, we got to sit through a whole week of this. Every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm reminded of how horrible this film is and how it just doesn't make any sense. Like, so the pacing was garbage. The concept I will keep in the pros, because if you just want to say like, okay, all of these things that are going on behind the scenes, to which we know there are things that go on behind the scenes, sex, EX trafficking is one of them. I mean, we know that happens, so we know other stuff is going on too. We may not, we got the blank files and all this stuff right here. So the concept is cool. The execution was underdeveloped. So I can excuse me, throw that in the cons. I need some water. I'm sorry about that. I'll give you soundtrack. I think I did bob my head a little bit here and there. I did like the characters, but it wasn't predictable for me. I had no idea where we was going with this. Like, I would have had a better chance of hitting $1 zillion lottery of predicting where this movie was going. So
I
it's
would
kind of
expect that from you, B, because I know you don't do horror like that, and you're kind of
yeah, it's
into there now. Like this was as far as like horror, even just storytelling. It was. We'll get into it, but I don't want. I
yeah.
don't want to lose any of these super chats that we have here with waiting too long. Thank you so much, Natalie. Struggles in the building. Thank you so much. Natalie came back a second time and asked B, does it require bleach?
Damn near that ending. Yes. I mean, the only reason I won't give it bleach is because the acting was still good from Marlon and Tariq, and I liked how it looked. That photo effect, I did like that. It reminded me of Mortal Kombat. So, I can't. Bleach is just across the board, just ass water.
Thank you so much, Demarcus. Was good. King Nikki, Libra season is here. Happy early birthday, Kang. Libra, aka Nikki. Thank you so much, Demarcus, for showing love. Dane is in the house. Said, "Hey, ninjas, never late, Dane. Always on time." And I saw you in the chat saying that you have not seen this. If you were in the Discord like you're supposed to be as a member, Dane, you would have seen it already. Let's move along. Hey, Bree. Thank you so much, Bree, for showing love. Don't start to see. Bree, no, she gonna come in here and correct you every single time. Thank you so much. Demarcus came back again. Him was giving any given Sunday vibes. I love any given Sunday. I ain't giving
Hold on, I keep Al Pacino out of this.
Not Stephen Willie Beeman. I'll
Willie
think about it.
Beeman.
Yeah, I ain't seen it in a minute, but I'm not sure about that statement. And Natalie was
Visually, I could give it. Visually, outside of the stupid filter, I could see the similarities to any given Sunday.
thank you, Natalie. Acting was a pro. B. Avery, was it bleach worthy? Thank you so much. She said it did not require any bleach, Natalie. So hopefully we don't have to break out any. But as is any good film, we start with the director. This was directed by Justin Tipping. And I was familiar with him because some lovely patriot pulled up one day a minute ago and paid for Kicks. And I watched Kicks. I reviewed it. It's up if you guys want to check it out. And I loved it. I was like, this is great. I can't wait to see what he has coming out next. And Kicks is an older film. And when I went to check, I was like, oh, he only did this one film. And the rest of his career kind of resides in television, like The Shy, 20s, a lot of like network direction there. So this is his second film, and they are quite far apart. A lot of people immediately accredited and hated this film just when Jordan's name was attached. It was at a disadvantage just because they saw that there. And it's like, oh, here we go. And at first it was us, and now it's him. Jordan Peele is just acting as producer here, but Justin is directing and writing. B, I'm going to come back to you for this only being his second attempt. It really feels like a first with these films being so far apart. How did you feel he did?
For his first time, I really can't knock him. Putting a film together is not hard. I think they just possibly gave him too much creative freedom with the editing. Like, I think this movie would have actually worked if he did exactly what he did, but they tested it. I gotta know what the test scores were. Like, because sometimes studios do that, sometimes they don't. And if it tests bad, they'll either do reshoots or thank you for shooting this, thank you for doing this, but we're gonna take it over in the editing room. Because I just don't understand how someone could have signed off on this. But if this is his first, time out or second time out, it does make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, because it's not easy. I can't do it. So I'm saying Trad. I can't do it. I wouldn't know I wouldn't even know where to start. So I just got to be honest.
I think there was probably some anxiety because these films are so far apart. And if you haven't seen Kicks, please go and watch it. You can
my bad. Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
you can see inspirations and because I look forward the moment I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay, I really love Kicks and what he did with the direction there with the the lower budget and the acting. I can't wait to see what he does now. But I felt like here he got really ambitious because they are so far apart and he has something to prove that maybe we went a little bit further than we should have. Nikki, what did you think about the direction?
About the direction or the director?
Director, the have you seen Kicks, the directing, the writing, because he's touching on both.
I haven't seen Kicks. I thought this was his debut. I thought this was his first feature film. But I feel like I got a lot of faith in him. Like he's not someone that I'm like writing off. Like I'm excited to see what he does. This may not have been a home run, but it was a big swing. Big swing. Sometimes you don't make them. At least he tried something different. I think he has a lot creatively to offer. I think he definitely has a lot of technical ability. I think maybe he should let somebody else write. I don't know. Like maybe
It was three.
direction.
It was there. It was two other writers. I think it's three
Yeah,
writers.
it was well. All the co-writers didn't do good. You know, they were supposed to come in and tighten up the script. They didn't do that. But I just feel like I don't know, and I would have to see Kicks to know maybe he didn't play to his strengths with this film. Not everyone can do. You know, like you have to play to your strengths. Certain directors we go to for like certain things, they're good at certain stuff. They let other people take the reins with certain stuff. Like B said, maybe you know, like the editing makes a huge difference in films. Like it truly completely changes so much with the film. So I feel like people's getting on my nerve calling this a Jordan Peele, you know, movie. It's monkey paw, y'all. Calm down. But I feel like it reminds me of Tara. What's the actor that just did the last his directorial debut that Jordan Peele produced, the Monkey Man movie? Yes, that's his name. I feel like I feel the same way. Like I'm not writing them off. They both show promise. Monkey Man was stronger, but like I feel like Jordan Peele does have a good eye for like up and coming talent. Like I'm liking what Monkey Paw is producing so far with first time or new ish directors. So I think I'm there for Justin. I'm there for Justin 100%.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for Jordan too, allowing these directors and writers to kind of leap out there because so much restrictions, sometimes for the betterment of the film, but a lot of the times you are so restricted because of what a producer or a studio wants to do. It seems like he's giving these people free range, which is
Yeah.
very interesting.
And I think he should. I think he should give them as much creative freedom as possible because that's what the audience has been screaming is we want new ideas. We want original. We're tired of like the studios and giving us, you know, because the studios have a formula. They want to make money. So
Yeah.
I like that he's letting people like be creative. And even if it doesn't work, hey, let's just keep giving the audience something different. So I'm here for it.
I mean, but that's hard. It's also hard though. I'm come to dumb. Like, so how many times are we going to let you jump out there? Because the money was put, fronted for this film.
Well, he only jumped out one time. You said Kicks was a hit.
Well, no. Kicks is more so, underground. Like it's not, or like more of like an independent film. You can tell it's a labor of love. It wasn't. This was like your first big leap off the porch, and it failed. And you know how they put that stigma on you. They don't be want to front the OGs. They sure don't want to get new people no money. Dumb.
No, I definitely don't write him off. Definitely, Jordan Peele does have an eye for talent. Nia DaCosta with Candyman. Not everybody liked
Oh yeah, I
Candyman.
forgot about that.
Yeah, not everybody liked Candyman. People thought that was a miss, but she definitely has talent, and so I think that Justin Tipping has a vision. He definitely has a vision. I think he has the capability to be great. I think that with this movie specifically, we needed more studio interference. We needed more hands in the kitchen on this one because there are some directors where it's like I'm gonna give you a blank piece of paper and you're gonna come up with a whole world and you're gonna bring me back masterpiece from page to final cut. I'm gonna let you do you and you gonna Quentin Tarantino. They just write him a check and let him do what he got to do. Spike Lee, he write his own checks and he do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? But even the great Christopher Nolan got somebody else writing his scripts. You know what I'm saying? Some people need structure and some people need structure outside of them. And I love Zack Snyder more than 90% of people. He's one of my favorite people to watch. But he don't need a blank check. He needs somebody else to be behind him, tightening it up because you let him go wild and we in for a boring time. So I just think that he needs we should get movies. The next Justin Tipping movie should start off saying story by Justin Tipping and then written by somebody else. Because like he need to come up with the idea and just give it to somebody else to like flesh it out. The same way you might write a little script and it might sound good, and then you put in Chat GPT to be like, hey, write this but better. That's what he needs. And so, but I got faith in him. I got faith in this guy. He gave me enough here because this movie wasn't trash. It's been higher profile directors that have given out worse movies than this.
I'll give you
And
that.
so yeah, and so he definitely I'll give him another chance. I'll give him another chance.
Yeah, I will. Most definitely. Thank you, Jay Buggin. They needed to add more scenes, show more of his family, also ease us into the crazy. If they would have eased us into the ending would have felt better. I do agree, Jay Buggin. We gonna get into all of that because it just it I I really wanted this movie to be great. I'm sorry, I'm disappointed. I'm trying to conceal it and just have a review, but man, this really could have been a contender, and it's just unfortunate that it didn't show up in its best way. But as far as just inspiration, just to give more background, as far as Justin Tipping, because I don't know, I am not an avid, I get into it a little bit, but I'm not a football watcher like that. But this story was inspired by the GOAT, Tom Brady, and some of those things. But I think a lot of it was these gentlemen we have here, if you're familiar with something like an Aaron Hernandez and some of the cons that come along with playing this sport. And I feel like we were trying to get into because I had that man in there watching. I was like, let me find a man. I need a man who knows football, who watches it. I want them to watch it. I'm not going to be impressionable or say anything. You saw it and you got what? This man watched it and said, yeah, that wasn't about football. That ain't had nothing to do with football. I was like, well, did it not? B, I'm gonna come to you as a if I and I don't know because I know because you be over there with the Cowboys. You be over in the football streets.
Yeah.
When you watch this, did you get the inspirations of something like a Tom Brady that need to want to be the GOAT status and all that, what that carries, things like CTEs, concussions, legacy, rituals, things that come along with that sport? Because somebody said, this ain't gonna do football.
Yeah, I definitely would, but I wouldn't necessarily tie Tom Brady to it. I'm not saying that it's not based on it and linked, but when I was watching it, I didn't say to myself, oh, this is, mimicking Tom Brady, emulating him. You know what I'm saying? It probably was, but I'm a casual, sports fan. I'm not a diehard. I will tune in on Sundays and Thursdays and all that, but if I miss a game, I'm not tripping either. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to throw that disclaimer out there. But yeah, football was the skeleton, but it wasn't the meat and potatoes,
Yeah.
So I mean, this could have been, you could have had the same movie with any sport,
Yeah.
with any activity. They just chose football, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's smart to use football. It's a popular sport in America. So but yeah, I mean, it's not the meat and potatoes, but it's definitely a skeleton at least. So
Nikki, I'm gonna come to you because I know you said no to the football. Did you reference anything? Because even if you're not into the sports, you see these things. Like I don't know nothing about nothing, but I know Tom Brady's the GOAT. I know he had a hard time retiring or coming back and this, and I have all these rings and he's revered. And it's like you keep coming back in your, older age and you've won repeatedly, but it's just hard to walk away from that sport. I got the theme, so I did feel like it was through there. I wish it would have been more consistent. But did you get any themes of, football in the film?
I got the themes you just said, especially with like Marlon's character.
Yeah.
Did I think of Tom Brady? No, I don't know who that. I don't know the man. I think he was married to a model. That's really all I know. If he's the one I'm thinking of that was married to that model, who the girl who was married to Seal? Didn't he marry her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's all I know. But I will say, Dom said something earlier that I forgot. How you just said you went and asked old boy. I was thinking when I was talking to someone about the movie who is really, really into football, they said the same thing Dom said, because I was like, the lead has no personality, but is that intentional? And he said the same thing. He was like, yeah, he was like, their whole life is just football. They literally have no personality. So as much as I felt like that was like a negative, I'm like, okay, it still wasn't, pleasant to watch. But I could say that was one of the like inspirational themes that after watching it, I was able to kind of be educated on. It's like, that's kind of the point, is that his whole life pretty much groomed for football. Oh, and I want to add, if I can go back, I forgot to say in the positive, I actually really loved the opening sequence. I thought that was a great setup. That kid watching football with his dad and all that. I'm surprised men do not explode from testosterone. All the grunting and all the roar, that was taking me out. But I actually thought that opening sequence was so promising. I thought it was like really finna give us something. But who is that man who looked like he went to lynchings? I don't know who that is in that middle black and white photo. I don't know. Harpo, who did? I don't know these people.
That's fine, and that's okay. That's okay. And I just really know them either out of like history or infamy because they were the ones who maybe got the brunt of something the worst. I don't know them like their sportsmanship, and I know Jay him out of documentaries and stuff like that. Like they're infamous.
I
uh,
know O.J. Simpson. I know Michael Jordan.
dumb,
I think that's it.
yeah, dumb. What about you?
I, the first thing I thought of was Tom Brady because of the legacy and the go. First of all, this that's why this movie needed an editor because take the word goat out 5 times. Take if they say goat one more time, it was going to irritate me. But the references to Tom Brady to me were a little bit overt. Tom Brady's so famous that
Yeah.
they made a movie about 4 white women going to see Tom Brady. That's how
What?
Yes,
I remember.
they made a movie, and the whole movie is 4 old white women trying to go have fun, and they go into a game to go meet Tom Brady like before he retires. That's the movie, and it's like real actors. It's like white women you would recognize, and so this man is the height of fame and sports and stuff like that, and so this was very reminiscent, but it's also just football as well. It's Tom. They took some inspiration from Tom Brady, but it's definitely just football as a sport and the cult of personality that it kind of inspires. I it wasn't subtle. I mean, it wasn't subtle. It was very overt and very direct,
Yeah.
and the ritual parts were so bottom of the barrel internet conspiracy. There was a scene. I know nobody saw it, but they remade House Party a couple years ago.
Oh, we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah, we saw it.
in House Party, for whatever reason, there's a part where they go to like the Illuminati, and they're having a whole scene in the Illuminati party and whatever, and they got the closest stuff. The scene in that movie and the ritual scene, they could have been from the same movie. Like it was the same. That's how ridiculous the end of this movie was. It's like you could have really interchanged these scenes, and I wouldn't have noticed. I just it was so overt that it was bothering me. I was like, let me go watch a
Yes,
24
and
film.
that's dumb. Leading us into our next segment, honey. It's like it's symbolism wrapped in a metaphor, wrapped in another metaphor. Now, the themes of don't be a mascot. The hidden meanings here are what they were trying to do. We got it. Anyone who is highly invested in film, like I already knew where we were going. The inception of it all. When the moment he got hit in the head and we saw that, like he went to the football, I was like, oh, y'all about to inception us. We're about to get all off into this not being in reality. And it's going to be for us to judge what's real and what's not. The movie was ready to take us all the way through. And I was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. I wonder what themes and situations that they're going to play with. Are we going to go back and forth between his subconsciousness or what's reality and what's not? And because he's got hit in the head and he has a concussion, and we have all these. I've never seen something go out of its way in a visual sense and have these themes to just be so clever or try or think that you are, and it's showing up so half baked, uninspired, and it was so obvious what was going on here, where we were going, which lends to that predictable quality later. And I don't like sitting through a film where I know kind of how the ending is going to go verbatim. Um, Don, I'm going to come back to you. Is this movie as smart as it thinks it is?
This movie's so dumb that I question my own intelligence. Because you watch a movie and you like, was it dumb or am I dumb and I just get it? Did it go over my head? Because I tried to be humble and I'm like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I missed something. I must have missed something. And no, it was just it was fake intelligence. It was and I don't mean that this is a reflection of the director. I'm just talking about the movie. And because it's like instead of like studying actual like mysteries and thrillers and actual symbolism, they just turned and was like, what's that line from the Kanye song? It's like nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. That was the model for this movie. That was the motto. It was like, what does that mean? Nobody. It gets the people going, and that was the entire message of the movie. Is just like, especially the second half. It's just like we're just doing stuff because it looks cool, and symbolism. And it was fine.
I'm here for the symbolism, Dom, but it's I was with B in that sense of if we're gonna be over here and basically turn this into a full blown Brady, the ones before, we have all of these effects of football, and then we get over here and it's like blood sacrifices and rituals and how much you're willing to sacrifice, and we're feeding the beast and feeding the gods, and we've been doing this for centuries, and your daddy's cousin's daddy playing football. I got that, and it was so obvious, but it feels like it went out of its way to not be as straightforward in the name of art's sake. It felt pretentious. It felt like
Well, and not even good pretentious because because people call me pretentious, but this wasn't Black Swan. Black Swan,
yeah,
people call that pretentious, and that does what this movie tried to do.
yeah.
And what's real, what's not, and then the slow descent into madness and obsession and all that type of stuff. That movie does it perfectly. This movie doesn't even really do it.
No, no, but I was like, who was there for it not to be regulated and horned in to go, yeah, you're not doing quite what you think you are. And the way that we have, followed at least Jordan's career, and he's producer, like you watched it, right? Nobody said anything. B, how did you feel about the metaphors and the symbolism, and what do you feel like this movie was trying to do? Because this movie most definitely thought it was artsy and deep.
Um, that's why I kept saying the word unnecessary because you just. I mean, that's it right there. It just, I mean, it didn't add anything to it. It just made it worse and more confusing, and that just goes back to the execution. I mean, I'm just thinking about, I don't remember if it was at the beginning or end, just showing a flashback, but when he actually got the injury and hit on the head. Now that was at the beginning of the film because he was throwing the football at the goal post. The figure that hit him in the head, I don't know what that was. It looked like, and I'm not trying to be funny or facetious or anything, but it looked like a old school samurai, but then with the goat head with the horns. But I don't know what that means. I mean, why couldn't you just have a random person committing gang violence and still commit the same crime? You know what I'm saying? Like at the end, we've been grooming you since you was a child. I mean, if I'm jumping too far ahead, reel me in.
Fine, you're fine. No, I put that here intentionally, and I use this photo because this is the second time, and we know what's happening with the whole injection
So,
situation. More and more he's injected, he's slipping away and descending further away from who he was when he got there to sacrifice. But the initial mascot, I thought that was up for interpretation because we do have those themes of don't be a mascot, because I'm assuming that meant that the mascot was probably the lowest of the totem pole as far as the representation for the team. I'm not the mascot, I'm the damn quarterback. Got that. And I thought that this mascot or entity or whatever coming along to hit him in the head was supposed to represent his subconsciousness in this injury or this concussion or whatever, kind of stopping him before he pushes himself, further away. And this was like, I think maybe he had just got the first injection here, or maybe the second, I'm not sure. But it's like, hey, remember, because we keep seeing the visual of that scar. It just keeps bleeding and contracting, and we need to restable and do this. And it's like you're pushing yourself. I thought it was literally supposed to be a hit in the head, like snap back into reality. You don't need to do this. That's what I got, but I could be completely wrong.
I don't know.
That was so stupid because it was dumb because one, he hit him with a sledgehammer. That was a sledgehammer you get from Home Depot. The rest of this movie is a fever dream of the afterlife because that man is dead. But
You can't do that. I tell you, I can't do that. I thought, which I was waiting for, which would have been cheap, but it would have matched with the same cheap themes of this film, that we were going to go back and retread. Okay, this is what was going on subconsciously with him and him being off on this concussion. Maybe he was out. Maybe this was a whole delusion, and he was actually doing things in reality according to
that would have been cheap and basic too. I'm not saying that would have been better. I'm saying you should take that whole sequence out. If you needed a narrative vehicle for him to get to Martin Lawrence, because that's all that was. That was a narrative vehicle for one, his mental state to decline, and him to get to Martin Lawrence. Those were the two things that they.
Martin
That
Lawrence.
I mean,
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans.
Oh.
Marlon Wayans. Sorry. I done got hit in the head a couple times too. You could have just had him get hit on the football field. You just have a Warren Sapp looking mug, just sack the mess out of him. Give him actual CTE from playing football, and then it's like, how bad do you want this?
And
This
they
is
never
Please let me tag me in, Coach. I'm sorry. On top of that, Tyra, on top of what he's saying, they said that they have been grooming him since he was a child, right? First of all, why? Was he some 7-year-old all-star?
Prodigy.
But I mean, like, did they have? I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny, but at the end, I'm trying to put this together. I'm like, why was they doing that? Like, what events went down for them to like, okay, we need to look after this guy right here? And then if that's the case, they've been grooming him since he was 10 years. Why ruin a 10-year investment by risking killing him? By hitting him over the head? What if he died? Then your 10 years of work would have went down the trash, and you could have just simply had him spring his ankle on the field. But you want to hit him over the head with a crowbar? Just ask him to sign the contract. Who doesn't want millions of dollars, fame, and fortune? Hey, bro, you down on your luck? We got a spot over here on the Saviors. Okay, we're gonna give you this amount of money. You're gonna get this, and this. Just sign the paper. Cool, mama, we made it. You don't gotta cut your bar. You don't gotta, do the barbershop no more, home brother or nothing. But instead, they want to put him through a boot camp and give him drugs.
And one more, I just gotta, because just jumping up, because he hitting the nail on the head. He hitting the football player on the head, and because not only that, because the implication based on the little flashback scene at the end, the implication is that his dad gave up his son, sacrificed his son to be great, and that's fine. That's fine. But my thing is, but you still got to me explain why this kid, because what you're not finna do is make it seem like there's one American dad. There's just one American dad who's gonna sell his toddler to be the greatest football player ever. My dad would have sold my soul for a nickel and a chewing bubble gum if I was gonna grow up to be the Black Tom Brady. So why did you pick this light bright mug? I just don't understand why we are here. And then you don't have to put him through all this trauma. Like B said, you could offer it to me now with no coercion. No, you don't got to put me through boot camp. You don't got to groom me from 7. Sign on a dotted line, and all your dreams will come true. We just need your soul. Cool.
There are plenty of people that would do that. I'm sorry. I just gotta say one more thing. Oh no, it just slipped my mind that quick. Never mind. What was I about to say?
I'm gonna go to you and B to answer that question. I think because without that, we don't have a film. They wanted us to think in this film that this is a ritual that we have every chosen person who might have the possibility to be the GOAT.
Thank you. You made me remember.
Prove yourself.
You may remember there is a movie that came out a few years ago. I'm pretty sure you saw it, Tyra. It's a bunch of white people, but it's kind of like a horror comedy. But
the blackening?
No, not the blackening. That's black people. But this one here, a couple gets married and they gotta kill somebody before like the dawn comes.
Ready or not.
There you go. Right
good.
there. Okay. I actually like that movie.
That's a good
now. This movie, him, would have worked maybe if it was 30 to 45 minutes longer, but we got a chapter or two on the antagonist side of them speaking with the devil, like, hey, we've been for the past 80 years, y'all have been the billionaires on top of the saviors because of your relationship with the devil. It's that time. You got to pay your tithes. Okay, it's another 10, 15 years. Give me another sacrifice. Okay, it didn't work out with Marlon, but let's go get this Tyreek Withers guy. You know what I'm saying? If you get him to sign the contract, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna stay on the top. But if not, I'm gonna put you on this symbol at the end, and your body gonna explode randomly or something like that. That possibly would have worked if I want to play devil's advocate, but I'm not
The
a script
devil got
writer
an
either.
advocate, and apparently he's a sports agent.
Basically. Thank you so much, Dane, and thank you so much for being a member for a whole year. I appreciate you. Was this movie a bootleg version of Jacob's Ladder? No, it was not, Dane. Not at all. Nikki, thoughts, if you got any.
I think being Dobson, y'all are killing me. Y'all are so funny. I don't know what's happening tonight, but they own one tonight. This is hilarious. I feel like, and I remember when we went to watch this, Tyra, and it was your second watch, and you were talking about something about maybe you'll get something this time. To me, this whole movie is very straightforward. To me, I mean, like, it's so, you can telegraph everything. You know exactly what the movie is trying to tell us. I feel like everybody can't be David Lynch and give you like this dream like surrealism. None of that worked here, but I feel like even the team being called the Saviors, like everything is so easy to telegraph. And Marlon's dialogue irked me so bad. You know how you have that character in the movie whose only like job is to give the audience a bunch of exposition so we know it. Everything Marlon said told me everything I needed to know. Like literally everything he said. And even with the blood that you're showing right now on the slide on the screen, that it was giving me Demon Knight. I knew exactly what they were doing with the blood. In Demon Knight, everybody that come before you got to put their blood in a little key. That's literally like the movie tells you. I may not know why the white girl eyebrows look that bad. I may not know why they were shooting the mascot. I don't know what target practice got to do with football. But
I forgot about that part. We gotta come back to that too.
The movie is very straightforward. And I feel like this, for me, the movie treats the audience kind of like we're dumb. Like they tell us what we're supposed to think about everything. Like this equals bad. This. I know he wasn't gonna sign a fucking contract. I don't know why the hell kill Marlon if he ain't gonna sign a contract. That didn't make no sense to me. But yeah, I agree with every single thing Dom and B said. But I'm here for the symbolism because it gave me some cool stuff to look at visually, I guess. But I feel like this is one of those movies where you know that cousin who took like one psychology class, so now they feel like they could diagnose everybody and they feel real deep. The movie thinks it's real deep, but it's really
that
not.
Shit was funny. I'm sorry.
Very true. It's very true.
Oh man, you knocked that out the park.
Like, I feel like the movie is like dangling stuff so the audience feels like we got to decipher everything. Like it's not, the movie is not as smart as they think. It's not clever in the slightest.
It's not. He said, I'm finna M like Shamalama Lama, y'all. Y'all finna ooh, this is not an M Night. This is not a David Lynch. This is just not one of them. He said, y'all, yeah, I'm cooking. No. Getting into these performances, and for anybody who wants to know later, the breakdown of like what we thought was what, we're going to be going back into those chapters because they put them there. We got to use them because they said, did you see that chapter? Yeah, we saw it. Get that on my face. We gonna start with Marlon. Now, everybody showed up here for Marlon. We showed up here for Marlon. When you saw the trailer, you said, oh my goodness, it's Marlon. But it's not just Marlon in the capacity that we normally see him. Y'all know where Marlon resides. He resides over there in that funny comedic space with the rest of his family. It's rare that he goes and takes on a dramatic role, not only a dramatic one, but clearly they didn't save too much for the trailer. You're the villain. This is horror. Oh, okay. We're finally going to get that. Now I have these, a couple of things here where Marlon got more dramatic. We have him here in Bel Air in Respect. But for me, and anytime I reference, like, I hope we get a moment with Marlon for him to be, really dramatic, is Requiem for a Dream. I feel like that was the top tier of him delivering what he could outside of just being funny and comedic. But with that being said, and me getting into why I maybe felt like the acting was an issue for me, Marlon did not do bad here. Marlon has a lot of, time, effort. He's been in the business for a very long time. So he can deliver on a dime. That's not going to be an issue. He can act. But I feel like he could have delivered so much more. I kept waiting for Marlon to push himself. And with the free range that they gave that damn director, we could have did whatever we wanted to do. We could have really, really went somewhere that didn't involve Marlon giving a gun guac guac 3000 and spitting on it. That's not what I was looking for. I didn't need that.
Why you had to remind me that?
Let's watch it. Let's watch it. We're gonna reference it.
he did that too well. I was like,
Stop.
Jesus.
I didn't need that. That's not the drama in him descending that I was looking for. I was looking for that switch. They did a disservice to Marlon being, y'all remember if anybody was there, if you ever, went over there and them tales from the hood streets, and it was like, is that David Allen Greer? This is the unexpected villain. The way that we were supposed to come in here, it would have done the movie a very big service, in my opinion, even though we know what's coming. Treat the audience and Tariq Withers as if we don't know his intentions. The moment he touched down, we knew, Ninja, you not retiring where? You ain't, we're not here for that. We know that we're not here for that. I really wanted him to present as a nice guy. I'm taking you under my wing and bro, and I'm passing it on to you. I see something in you. It's about legacy. It's about football. And then we just slowly see it. Like there's a way to like turn the screw every little inch to where it's like, whoo. So when you get it, it's the alternate side of who we met. It wasn't that his intentions were felt the moment that we met him. And even when we're getting into the, intense moment, get your together. We need to let Marlon play with those things and play with undertones. Marlon in whatever space, that's that space. In the black space, we have been listening to Marlon and his voice inflections and his funny and his impressions since we're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. We grew up with Marlon. So for us to deflect from that's low key kind of funny. Oh, Marlon's funny. You have to just go really out there. And I've seen him do it with the few, situations that I have here to where it's like, oh, Marlon's not being funny. He's being tense and it's getting serious. A lot of this kind of too many moments for me, and not all of them because he came through a couple times, but it wasn't consistent. I wanted more from Marlon and I wanted him to push himself. And I wish he was directed better and gave us some more. Nikki?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The people that are really savvy to Marlon, I feel like it was easy to kind of telegraph. You know his tones, like you know how he delivers certain things. And I agree with you. Oh my God, so bad on. We didn't need to tell the audience off rip, hey, this is bad guy. Like I feel like savvy horror fans know, like Tyra, a lot of times in horror movies, you have that character who the protagonist thinks they can trust, and once all the inch hits the fan, they run to that person to save them, and that's when they switch. Get it, Ben's son? They do that whole thing. Where it's like, oh no, this is actually, he's not here to help. I love those moments. And I feel like that would have been a really interesting thing to do. I wish they would have given more range to just the character Marlon played in general, because it was very straightforward. That's why I said Marlon didn't give a bad performance. I don't think Marlon can give a bad performance. He just did the best he could with the material given. And I just feel like it would have been really, really exciting to see him really do something like really experimental and something in just like a completely different light. And I have been going up for Marlon's dramatic acting forever. Even in a movie that's not the best, like Respect, when Marlon is in a dramatic role, I even cried when he died in that movie Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. Like when Marlon is dramatic, I really feel like it's Oscar worthy. Like he's up there with the top echelon of actors, and I feel like he doesn't get that respect because he does mostly do comedy. So I was so excited for this movie because I think the grittiest thing I've seen him do was Requiem for a Dream. That movie scarred me. I felt like that was such naturalistic acting. Like he was so amazing in that. And I just feel like he wasn't given the material. He didn't have a maybe savvy enough director, experienced enough director who knows how to pull something like that up out of you. We've all seen those actors that ain't very good, but for some reason they get with a certain director and pull off the greatest performance of their career. He didn't have that type of director here. But I want him to do something. I want to do something dramatic. I'm still for him doing something dramatic. Shout out to all the work he did. He put up a video of how flabby he was and he got into shape and he went through Marlon. Nobody can say Marlon isn't dedicated. Marlon don't work his fine ass off. Like he put everything he could put into this role, and I 100% respect his efforts. It's not him. It's the character on the page that he was given to work with.
And you know it's the character on the page because once we get to the end and he's out of here, you don't feel or care at all.
Nope.
Let me not
Nope.
speak to y'all. You did it. It just happened, and then we're trying to get towards
Yeah.
the ending. But yeah, he was definitely only giving so much to work with, and that's really really unfortunate.
And that's another thing. There were no real stakes in the movie.
No.
Like my heart didn't flutter. There was like I didn't feel as much as the movie feels like it's deep and it's doing all this stuff. I didn't feel anything, not once, not even for my baby mama.
Yeah, the stakes would have really stuck if we were, slowly turning that screw and he was identifying and seeing something in him. And it's going to hurt me to have to give you that Gladiator Gold experience because I'm trying to maintain this spot because I can't let this go. But I'm connecting to this kid in a way that I haven't connected with all the other ones I took down to get these 8 rings. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me in that way. Brandon.
And you know what? Let me ask y'all one quick question. Hold on, let me ask y'all one quick question because my mind was spacing a bit. So they attacked him and knocked him in the head so they could get him to the training camp.
Yes.
But isn't Isaiah White his favorite football player? Doesn't he want to play for this team? Why did they have to trick him? When he have
I'm going to stop y'all here. We're not going to fixate on that moment. They wanted us to get through to this camp so we could go through the motions. We couldn't just present him with an offer.
I just want to make sure I'm not crazy.
I think that this is a ritual, and everybody who came before Cam, we do this.
Got hit in the head.
Yeah. Whatever they need to get them there, we do something. But that's just what they wanted to go with. That's why we needed some help. Brandon?
Well, yeah, I mean, there you go. That's what we were saying earlier. That's the point of why this made no damn sense. And the writing was trash. It is trash. But as far as Marlon, I like him in both comedy and dramatic. I don't prefer one over the other. Please don't unsubscribe, people. I have not seen Requiem for a Dream. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, a lot of people also follow with that, said that it is crazy. So I was like, ugh, I'll just take your word for it. But it doesn't matter to me whether he's being in a funny role or a serious role. I will say there's been more comedic roles that I didn't like more than dramatic roles that I didn't like. I don't think there's ever been a dramatic role I didn't like, but I think one of his last movies on Netflix where he was like triplets or quadruplets or something. That was awful, but
something like that.
Yeah, that was I didn't even finish it. I tried like 2 or 3 times, but yeah, I agree with everything y'all said. But I still liked him. He was one of the better again aspects of the movie to me. So I just I agree with what y'all were saying, but I wasn't over here like, oh my God, if only he would have had this, it would have been that much better. I was fine with it, so
I thought that this was going to be Marlon's moment because so rarely do we offer him anything that aligns range. So when we have Jim Carrey in Eternal, Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, it's like this is their moment. Like, ooh, I see you. I never knew that you could offer this. Like we know, but Marlon, I don't think has been presented in a way to a broader audience to where everybody knows. And I thought I was hoping that this would be that.
Yeah, my expectations was much lower than yours. Just as like the movie as a whole. So, I walked out surprised, like, oh, I thought it was gonna suck, but Marlon was good. So I
love you, be for real,
duh. First things first, I want one person. I just want to find one person that puts sauce on all my accomplishments the way Nikki put sauce on Marlon Wayans' career. Because he's definitely talented. You will not find a Marlon hater over here on my side. But at the same time, he could be up there with one of the best. Be easy. Be easy now. We could get a man his flowers without manufacturing AI flowers. It's cool. It's all right. Dang, God dang. But at the same time, I feel like what he could have done if he had a better script and better direction is, like you said, the transition. Because when we met him, not the first meeting, because that was telegraphed to hell, but like that first day of training camp and stuff, I thought he did give that fun. We just out here to throw the football around and test your limits. And then, but the switch flipped too quick. And then we didn't get a gradual progression, and which would have been cool to play with, because in football it's already aggressive, and in football if we were out here doing that, we are going to yell at each other, we are going to get aggressive, we are going to be that. And so it would have been fun to see him kind of do that, and at first it seems normal, and then it just starts to slowly but steadily be like, actually, where's the line? And then, because you get that, one, you get that with football in general, and then every level of football you go up to, when you go from high school to college, and then you go to college to pro, there's a shift in the expectations, and you have to find a line. In the movie, it would have been cool if you had to find the line between what is, all right, I'm going from college to the pros, and that's just what comes with it, versus this is weird. Like him discovering that would have been a cool progression. And Lord knows I'm advocating for more stuff in this movie that was too long. But honestly, and I know B said he really liked the beginning. I think Nikki said she really liked the beginning as well. Like to me, we could have cut all that out. To me, this movie should have been structured a little bit more intimately and structured. I was expecting Martin Lawrence to be like Oscar
Why you
Isaac
calling him
in
Martin Lawrence?
Yeah.
God dang, all y'all black folks are black.
Now the reason why
Sorry.
just real quick, the reason why the beginning worked for me is because I thought that was heading in the direction to where he was kind of programmed or brainwashed as a child by his father, that you have to do this to go through this pain to be successful. I thought that was the direction that was headed, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah, they set that
Right.
up and then didn't do anything with it. They did
Look,
nothing
his
with it.
motivation this entire film, which of course we'll get to, is his father. We needed that little brief moment of
That's why I'm talking. When I say they should have done, I'm talking about a total restructure.
burn
I'm
it
saying
all
take
down.
that. We don't need that. Yeah, burn it down. We could have, because all that could have been expressed without having to telegraph it like it did, like a ABC Family movie. We could have just started. We could have just the same way Ex Machina starts with that man showing up at Oscar Isaac's house. We could have just started here,
You know that's
and
our superior
and
film. What
through
we doing with it?
well, I'm just saying. But if I'm gonna base my work off of something, base it off of something good. So even if I fail, if I base it off of something excellent and I fail, at least it'll be good, hopefully. But and so if Martin Lawrence had an Oscar Isaac type of role,
You wanted Martin to be here so bad.
So bad,
I
Tyra.
swear, if Marlon Wayans had been an Oscar Isaac type of role, and that descent would have been amazing, and he would have been able to play that really well. And if we would have spent more time at training camp, the days
We was there 90%
chapters
of
wouldn't have
the
felt so
movie.
long.
We're gonna read this because what I didn't. I ain't want them chapters to begin with. I can't stand the chapters.
Well, oh yeah, I didn't want the chapters to begin with, but if we gonna have the chapters, we didn't need the first 25, 20, 15. I don't know how long that. The first half of this movie was so unnecessary. It felt long. I didn't need, because the family didn't mean anything. The girlfriend didn't mean anything. The best friend, cousin, homie didn't mean anything. None of these people mean anything, and so they had no weight to the rest of the film. So they didn't
Well,
need to
we
be there.
needed
We
the
could have just had the
girlfriend because
father.
Marlon had to say killers don't care who feelings they hurt. He had to keep reiterating about the killers. So we needed the girlfriend.
We're gonna read these super chats. We needed those things. Those are his motivations, even though they don't make them prevalent in this movie at all. They don't desire for us to hear about
He didn't seem motivated. He didn't seem motivated
because I love
by
my
anything.
family. I love my family. It's family. I love my family. And you're saying it, but y'all didn't do anything to make us feel that. Thank you so much, Natalie, for the super chat. If he did the combine, he wouldn't have went to any team anyway. He wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it. He was too hurt. He was too hurt.
No, he's saying he would have went
If
to
he would
any team. Like he
have
would have
did
went to
it,
anybody. Not
I don't know what that. I don't know all that fear and that injury and all that stuff. I don't know. That's another thing open for interpretation with
because he didn't want it bad
man.
enough.
Thank you. And the previews, I assume he had a football injury. Instead, they had George Clinton / Boosie Collins hybrid trying to take my boy out. That's a very good interpretation. But as much as we were here for Marlon, that's not the only thing or person who was here. There was a lot of focus put over here on Tyreek. This is his coming out. This is his coming out. I was like, oh, it's the young man from that one Atlanta episode. That's what I always reference because I remember it. And of course, if you've just recently seen the I Know What You Did Last Summer, he was there and he was featured. But he hasn't been centered focused in a film to carry it. And I don't know if he was ready to. Now I know that you guys express the football players often not having any personality, showing up, maybe being that's cute and all, like relative and in a sense, but in a film, you're our focus and you're our drive and you're our eyes. I need you to carry, and I don't think he was ready to carry. I see strong potential of what could be if he gets more time in, but my mind gets to working like, ooh, a Jarrell Jerome, a Kevin Harris Jr. Like, ooh, they would have ate this up. I don't want to be sitting there thinking about who could have executed your role better than you because I didn't feel like you were delivering. It was very flat, and I don't think it being football is an excuse for a lack. I think there's promise here if he gets, a few more roles under his belt, but I think that this was just too much out the gate to just be the main focus. He was so uninteresting. I didn't care what happened to him. I wasn't invested. I was trying to root for him or have some type of compassion or at least like identify. It just was nothing. And then the script didn't help, of course. It didn't give him much of anything to work with as far as dialogue to deliver in the first place. But this, the right actor can do something with peanuts. We've seen it happen. I was gonna say, unfortunately, he was here. I did not like that. He didn't give me anything, and he was one of the aspects that made this movie even longer than it was because he gave me absolutely nothing. It was giving like flat Channing Tatum. That's what I described. I said flat
Oh,
Channing. Y'all know Channing
oh,
Tatum ain't
how dare you? That's
the,
crazy.
the most
That's
elite
crazy.
actors of the actors, but it was giving me flat Channing Tatum, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do with that in this football film. Uh, Dom, I'm going to come back to you. How do you feel Tariq Withers did?
I feel like this isn't a good. I feel like he should not be judged on this film because this film gave him not a little bit to do, nothing. It gave him nothing to do because the whole point of his arc is that they're trying to get him to become the next Marlon Wayans. I'm gonna say his name right for the rest of this. For the but at no point did he transition like in the script, like on page he didn't transition. Like we don't see him become the superstar, we don't see him become the life of the party, we don't see him. They got that one party scene where he doing this for 30 seconds and then he sleep. Like we don't see him change from point A to point B. He doesn't change really at all. And so if you give me a movie, if you give me a story where your protagonist does not change and also doesn't change people around him, then I don't know what you want this man to do. I don't know what you want this man to do. He didn't have any. He didn't have any. We talked about Any Given Sunday. He didn't have any Willie Beeman lines. He didn't have any charisma. There wasn't any charisma on the page for him to embody. So that man did. He got this check.
He did.
He showed up to work, did his
Did.
job, and
And,
clocked
I'm
out.
glad. I hate that it was unsuccessful. I don't want anybody to see this and decide like, oh, we're going to give him smaller opportunities. I think he has potential to deliver a whole lot more, but it definitely was not displayed here. Brandon,
Um, well, I agree with parts of what y'all said, both. Um, First of all, you have the images on the screen. I have seen I Know What You Did Last Summer. I even reviewed it, but I still haven't posted it. I just didn't feel like editing it, But so I must still put it up like 5 anyway. And I did see Atlanta. And you have the photo there, but I'm still having a hard time remembering him in both of those movies. And I know the summer came out in July. But I agree with Dom as far as saying we should not judge him for this. Because to me, and this is why I disagree with you, Tyra, respectfully, I think he did a great job. I think for the, I guess the co-lead of this movie, I think he carried the film well. Yeah, he wasn't at the forefront of all those other films and episodes, but for what he was given, which Dom said, nothing. I thought he did the best that he could do. And also Tyra, I wasn't looking at him just like, you know what, if so and so got this role, it would have been so much better. Like, I don't know, whoever, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't feel that way. I like what he gave us. I didn't care about his character, but I didn't care about the whole movie. So it just wasn't him. Again, I just go back to where the visuals, him and Marlon were the best things about it, and I don't. Yeah, this very important point. The only thing I did not like about his character was at the very beginning when he was doing the press conference. He seemed like a really cool, calm, collective guy to where he just had that mental toughness and was able to cancel out all of the noise, all the social media, all the haters. Just like, you know what? I know these chicken heads out here, and I'm not gonna get caught up. I'm just gonna focus on the game. I got an opportunity to get back in the combine, go to say I'm gonna stay focused. But then it was a complete 180-degree shift when he was about to do another interview, and the friend or the brother or whoever was trying to cut his hair, and then his mama was getting on his nerve, and all of a sudden he was just like, "Oh my God, there's too much going on." I was like, "Whoa!" That kind of came out of nowhere. That's the only thing I didn't like about his character. But other than that, I just thought he was fantastic.
Well, and it just I might be misremembering because I didn't care, but the two interviews were on opposite ends of the accident, right? The first interview was before he got hit in the head,
Good
right?
point. I see where you're going. Yeah, I think so.
That's the only that's the only
there you
kind
go.
of grace
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I'm gonna come to you because maybe I was equating Tyreek with the film because I thought this was just as shallow as the film that he aesthetically fit this role. He looked like physique wise, he looked the part, and that's why he got the
Yes.
part.
Yeah,
Nikki?
I definitely agree with you on that. I don't know what potential you saw. I didn't see any, and I really would like to like this young man. We come from the same city, but I know what you did last summer. I liked him fine as part of the ensemble, but forgettable, completely forgettable. And then here, these are the only two places I've seen him. Boring, 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 boring. Like, I mean, just lifeless. He reminds me. Anybody who watches my channel knows the number one actor I cannot stand is Common. Common cannot act his way out of a paper bag.
Really?
He's
Wow.
stiff. He's lifeless. He's one.
Wow.
No, Common gonna say every line in the same damn tone in every movie, and that's what this young man was giving me. It was just so. I was like, can you say something different? Can you? It was just.
Give my man some help. Give my man some help over there. He's dying over there, yo. He's dying.
Like literally, like.
Y'all
Are
stupid.
you sure? Is he dying? Yo, you can go better than that. Yo, he's dying. Give my man some help, yo.
You're crazy.
Okay. You sure?
Nah, y'all putting a lot on it. That scene, that was probably his best scene when he was yelling at them to catch the ball. That was real. That was real on the field.
And he mustered up the one moment where he managed to muster up some real emotion doing the mock press conference. That I think that was maybe his best.
I feel like every time, even when they were playing football, and it felt like he was a little overwhelmed, and then he was all like, "Yeah, pick your boy up. I killed." That's just it. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I ain't been on YouTube in a while. That mess sounded so manufactured. Like it felt like it felt like artificial testosterone. Like I wasn't buying anything that he was given in the whole movie. And with the character, first of all, I hate the name Cameron Cade. That's such a made-up name. I hate when movies have a name.
I actually like it. I actually liked it.
Nah.
I thought it was smooth.
I hate that so bad. I remember Eddie Murphy talking about having a fight with the writers when he signed on for 48 hours because they had a typical Hollywood made-up black person name. Cameron Cade is a made-up damn football player name.
I thought it sounded like a quarterback player. Like, who you got? I got Cameron Cade.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting.
It sounds so made up. But, I mean, I feel like...
I was thinking that, too.
He gonna go far. He gonna go far in Hollywood. I think he will. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. And grow out your hair, young man. Let us see little white people hair. Let's see the white side. See, that's why he cut the hair. That why he got real white people hair. Look, young man. But that also irked me as well because his dad and his mama did not make a little white baby like him. I don't like how they cast this movie. I hate when they do that. That mix was not making him. What? But anyway. Shout out to this young man. I'm sure he'll go far. I'm not here for him. I've seen him twice, and I don't ever want to see him again. I'm so sorry. God forgive me.
Not ever again, Nikki. Oh God.
I already got to sit through Common because they cast him in the best stuff. I'm not sitting through this young man.
Thank you, X-Men superfan Emma Frost for rolling up. You just gifted like 15 memberships last live. I most definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting me so deeply today. And Youngblood Hollywood got that membership. Please say thank you in the chat if you care to. I would appreciate it. Thank you, Emma. That was a hard pass, Nikki. Like, no, I never want to see him again.
I don't, and I'm so sorry.
I feel like there's something there, so I'm gonna keep watching. But it just wasn't here.
He literally gives me like he gives me mediocre white. You know how we get the like Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is such a boring actor to me. I feel like you can replace Dennis Quaid with any actor, and you're gonna get that. He just gives me nothing special. There's no pizzazz. There's nothing where I'm like, ooh, my eyes are going. To me, when you're an actor, when you're like character act, it's supposed to be something that draws the audience to you. We want to follow you. You have a screen presence. I don't get that from him. But hey, that's just me.
Just go straight in on Dennis Quaid. But that was always like default, like, hey, you can't get Kurt
exactly.
Kevin, you can't get Kevin Costner.
You can't get Jeff Bridges. Call him Dennis Quaid.
You know why I said Dennis Quaid?
Let's get into Julia Fox here. She was very prevalent in the film. I didn't know anything about Julia beyond her being on Kanye's arm, so I was very surprised to see her here.
That's who that lady is. I've been trying to figure out who this white lady is.
This was the girlfriend before the most recent one, and you know she had the outfits and the whole thing. She didn't go as far, but so I was surprised to see her here. But as far as her performance, she delivered what I feel like she delivers in real life. She showed up to be exactly who she's supposed to represent. So I didn't really care for it either way. It was just okay for what it is. I think she did what she was here to do. But I wanted to correlate and tie her in here because we have this one and we also have the We Don't Want You cult-like fandom supporter, also blonde white woman outside trying to choke him out and spitting on windows and doing the freaking most. But I think it was, pretty straightforward, like everything else in this film, what she was here to represent, being, instrumental as everything else in the industry. We always have you maybe come in and you got, you down, you boo, and we high school and maybe black girlfriend. And then we have that switch out as you increase in popularity and performance and wealth. And these women, they come here. They're sent to you. It's almost like they're, bred and breeded to approach you. Oh my God, I've watched all your games. I love you. And this is, and then they're the wife. They're just there. We see this, and we know that's what she's supposed to represent. But we're not only the girlfriend. She's giving influencer. She's hands on with everything. She's kind of giving handler, and we're there as not only an agent of chaos, but a tool of lust and deception. Because what you mean you want to leave? What you want to go home for, Claude? Come on out here. Come on up here. We're gonna have a good time, and to just kind of engross in those whole thing. And I feel like we had the same things with this woman down here. I feel like the cult fandom was maybe one of the moments that we got with her, of course, in the shower scene where people were probably like, what the hell is going on here? What does this mean? What does this mean? What is this supposed to represent? So I'm going to say what I thought it meant and then, of course, come to y'all. Now we have this lady here representing fandom because we know how that can be in the whole we don't want you. We're so, indoctrinated to Isaiah White and what he's contributed to the game in years. I'll die for him type energy. But I felt like she was not only trying to prove herself as far as her investment in Isaiah, but I'm so invested that I'm willing to kill for you. Maybe I can get a spot. Maybe I can be the Julia Fox to you or whatever. Maybe it was that. But then we heighten it in a different way to where she's not just, cult and it's all in her mind. We have Marlon roll up, tongue this lady down, and throw her into a wall and take her out. Now, on Cameron's part, with her approaching, of course, and trying to kill him, I took that as not only, of course, him defending himself, but he's slowly descending because we're increasing in those shots and he's getting further and further away and not really kind of desensitized to the situation to where, because I felt like if Isaiah didn't roll up, he was going to absolutely choke this woman out. And I also thought that was kind of like a reflection to the domestic violence that also comes along with this industry and what we see in the news and everything. And then it was the same thing with Marlon here, because as quickly as he was turned on and attracted to this and this devotion, you can also be objectified and a sexual object and lusted for, and I can throw you into this wall and kill you. I really don't care. Nothing phases me. That's what I got from that. But feel free to elaborate. Nikki, I'm gonna come to you first.
I didn't care about these two people. I didn't care to analyze them. Literally, I kept saying a million times, "Who is this white lady? Get her out of here." I will say a visual that when I said the movie was nice to look at. I do like when she came crawling under that little bleacher thing, whatever, in the sauna. I liked how that looked. I like her crawling out of there. But I thought it was odd. They made a note to show the audience how hot it was. She didn't look like she was in there sweating for no amount of time. But I didn't get the domestic violence angle with Tyreek's character. I did get it with Marlon.
Yeah.
It was a lot of tension in the movie, which I forgot to say in the positives. It's a lot of sexual tension in the movie, and his interaction with the cult girl, his interaction with the gun, telling Buddy to strip naked for the physical. Yeah, so I liked that. I liked how they were kind of, to me, what I got was kind of playing with the lines of like sex and violence. Like sex is violence. His violence in football, his violence in like his sexuality, kissing her, throwing her. Baby, is she dead or not? Is she the person they was shooting in the I don't know. That's what I kind of got from it. It's just the violence of all this, them going crazy and I guess being men and rah rah. That's what I got from it. Like they're like that outlet for them in like the sexual way. The demon lady with the I don't know, Harpo. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know nothing about that. I got nothing on her. Was she a girlfriend? I don't even know who she was.
Yeah, she was Marlon's girlfriend, but it was clearly like just kind of like a trade-off situation, because the moment that I'm not fixated on you when you aren't the GOAT. I'm clearly ready to do a trade-off situation and go over here with Cam just as quickly as I was here for you. Just a mirror representation of disposable white women in the industry.
I do wish we had more than just one crazed fan. Like, I don't know why it was only her. Because I feel like when I think of football fan, don't y'all be in like a whole mob? Like, I feel like it should have been more than just her. But I liked her. I feel like that's something to explore. I liked her. I liked the craziness. I didn't care about the other white lady.
Brandon? Are you muted, B?
My fault. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound crude, but this is what I was feeling. You got to stay away from white women. They're not all of them are bad, but you just don't know. You think about that Muhammad Ali video when he was like, "Hey, if 10,000 snakes are coming down here to get me, but 1,000 of them are good, am I going to maneuver them out? Oh, I'm just going to shut the door." I mean, that's just you don't mess with white women. Because here they just represented everything bad, evil, trickery, deception, like level 10 final boss Karen mode. And I was very confused by the whole kissing, killing, choking thing. It didn't add up, the whole spitting on the window thing. I mean, look at these faces in the back. Like, this is not an enjoyable experience at the theater. Why do I want to look at that?
What faces in the back is the best part of the movie.
I mean, and they did that more than once. At the end, I think the cheerleaders' faces were all blurred out, and I mean, I should have talked about that, the symbolism part, but it was just brought up here. But come on, this woman was awful, and she casually said something like, "Oh yeah, it's just a part." Not she didn't say it was just a party. She said it's just a ritual, or it's just a sacrifice, or it's just something.
Literal. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just said that like it's like taking a shot or something. Like it's just a vodka, like
it's obvious. Because I think they wanted us to think or know at that point. Because even here, the fact that he would even choke this woman out, that's not the Cam that we met before. And it's like, oh, he's got that Isaiah blood and he's descending.
I don't know what that whole thing was about. Are they on the same team? Are they on opposite team? Why did she sign up for sacrifice, I guess, but it. And then we got, now that we're talking about sacrifice, I know the white woman is on the screen, but we got to talk about the football to the face thing.
But, of course.
Okay. But yeah, white women, you gotta keep your guard up.
Dumb.
This just keep your guard up. That's just uh, my the the red hood lady, the clan lady. She was the cool. She was the part of the movie where I keep saying there were aspects to this movie that had the musings of something interesting if explored, but we just kind of like introduced interesting things and then didn't explore them because when she the crawling out was like you said, it was a cool scene. It was well shot. It was great logistically and from a blocking standpoint and a lighting standpoint. It was visually great. How did she get in the house? Because if she could get in the house,
Thank you.
if she crazed fan and she could just get in the house at will, or is she so crazed at the thought of Isaiah being replaced that she's now more motivated to get in the house? I don't know. We didn't talk about it. We didn't
How
explore.
Marlon was acting, I thought he let her in.
Right, exactly. I don't, and just
That's what I
hey,
thought as well.
hide under here for an hour, and then when I leave, come out. Okay, but
Stupid.
the right after that, the kissing and then killing, the kissing and then throwing her. I thought that was, and maybe I'm putting too much sauce on it, maybe, but it seemed like a commentary on fandom and how, like from the fan perspective, we idolize these people, but in reality they don't care about you, and they don't know you, and they don't care about you, and they will disregard you at the earliest convenience. And I felt like that was an expression of that. It's like, yeah, like, because especially in football, I mean, it happens with any famous person, but Jesus Christ, you football fans will live and die by somebody with a number on their back, and just think that they is God's gift to the world, and then the moment they get on, they Leo ask for a white girl, and it's happens. It happens every 15 years. Every 15 years, they find somebody new to idolize. Then they get old, they get rich, and they don't care about you no more. They didn't care about you to begin with, but now they got rich and old enough to not have to pretend anymore. And now your heart is crushed, and it happens every 15 years. And I felt like that was an expression of that. The Julia Fox character, it was that, as much as I'm gonna give the credit for that commentary on the crazy lady, the white women are evil thing, and then the I felt like this movie was so on the nose that they should have just stopped the movie and played the Shannon Sharp clip of Cat Williams talking about you get traded in for a weird looking wife like that. They would, because that's all they were. That's all we were doing. We weren't being subtle about it. We weren't tiptoeing around it. We were just
I
like,
wanted
yeah,
Dr. Umar to lean in, stay focused, brothers.
yeah.
Stay focused, my brothers.
Every time she spoke to Cam, I expected Dr. Umar to come around the corner. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find you don't find that suspicious?
Suspicious.
Like, but as I just throw that whole character away. Because of
That would have
course,
been
when I
funny
come
as
to the
hell.
door, she's there running everything, and she's there with the sign. Yes, of course. White women are the gateway to success and to
Yeah.
your downfall. We know. Thank you.
It just could have been more creative. When she stood up at the end, I'll take care of it. I got to do everything around here like I always do as the white woman. Get signed. I'm going to get you to sign this paper. Wait, okay, cool. Now we also have this man here, the torture trainer Marco. Marco was here to play that one role. And I did, it was obvious, but I did appreciate what they were trying to say because much like the coaches in the organizations, the trainer is not going to get off scot-free. We do have these players suffer these horrible injuries and deflects and concussions and things that I just can't fathom. And your job, against your own, better judgment, is to patch them up, medicate them, do whatever you have to do, even to their own body, and get them back out there on the field. And of course, we have Marco here breading him up, getting him ready for the slaughter to be that gladiator and give him that blood so he can match up to Marlon's energy. But at this point, I guess he's done it so many times that he's having a complex of what he could have been, where he could have gone, and I don't want to do this anymore. And he's trying to warn him in the slightest of ways. And then it gets really obvious. Like, yeah, too bad. I really liked you. I'm like, why are you being so obvious? I really liked you, Cam. You're really, so it's so bad that I prepared you so well for, they want those gladiators, generations of. I was like, oh my God, can we please get out of this scene? And then we get all the way down to this function. He goes, run.
That man wanted to say "get out" so bad. They
Oh God,
wanted to say "get out"
And
so
then we
bad.
even have, the final dose at the end. It has a run on it. I'm like, oh my goodness. But we see what he gets for his troubles. He gets punished, and he ends up being the sacrifice at this party. Because who told you to do anything? Nikki, did this mean anything to you?
nothing meant nothing to me. You want us to say a lot on this movie, Ty? How many slides you got?
Down.
We ain't even got to the days. Are we still going to the day 1, day 2? We ain't
We are breaking down the film. And I have to do diligence
I feel Nikki on that.
just because we see
I'm
stuff
having a good time.
and we feel like it's the most obvious thing in the world. People will watch this and write it off as maybe they should, but go, I didn't like none. I don't even know what the hell that meant. So that's what we're here for, if you must know. If you do not have anything to add to it, then just go to the next person.
No, you called my name, so I'm finna run my mouth. You know what? Oh God. I mean, it's pretty much like all the other things we talked about, where you know what his character is here for. You know where he stands. You know what the movie is telling us about him. I'm with Dom. He pretty much should have just been saying no, just like in Get Out. Like he should have been doing like the exact same thing. But when he's here with this party scene, it's a lot about this that kind of, so when we first are coming and the white lady is telling him, oh, it looks like this on the outside because they do their rituals. It was so much of his character not reacting to stuff. I'm like, babe, she just said they're doing rituals. But when she tells him, well, like this is his chance to impress who he needs to impress, isn't that what you do on the field? Like, why do I need to come to a party and get freaked out to impress y'all when it comes to my football? But I will say this was really one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I like the party did seem a little tame if you were talking about cult and fame and Hollywood stuff. But this was one of my favorite scenes. I liked how this scene looked. I like what was the girl in there stabbing somebody and had the little stuff. I think you put a slide with a picture of it earlier. I liked everything with this scene. It didn't, but visually, I liked looking at this. But that's all the nothing I got to say on it.
Since you're going, and of course this, I have to ask that. Getting into that, of course, it was special effects, and we do have an R rating here. Do you feel like, since you love that scene, there, do you feel like this movie earned this R rating?
I think the movie had amazing special effects. The blood, the everything I thought all of that looked good. Did it earn the R rating? It wasn't as violent as I thought. I thought I was really about to be like, oh my God, I need holy water poured on me. Like I thought, I feel like most people, well, I guess I won't say most people. I felt like we knew this was going to be something demonic, cult. Like that's what the vibe. I thought I was gonna really get like, oh my God, like, oh, I don't think it really earned the R rating, which is typically, sex, violence. Obviously, we really didn't get no sex. The violence really wasn't on the level that I thought it was going to be. But the violence we did get, when he first gets to that training, when they button heads, when Buddy getting knocked in the face, and Marlon said, why are you laughing? I thought all of the violence we did get was actually really well done. The movie had a budget. The production value is really good. The effects look good. I didn't have any complaints about that stuff. Yeah, that party scene looked really freaking good.
B, I'm going to come to you. Any commentary on Marco, and do you feel like this movie earned the R rating?
I was going to actually say this. I don't really have an opinion on Marco. That picture you have there, I do remember that, but like the whole scene vaguely. I just don't remember, and I'm not trying to be funny. And when Nikki was speaking, she was like, a lady stabbed somebody. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. I just don't remember it that much. But to be honest, I'm not trying to be rude, but to be honest with you, when you just asked, does it deserve an R rating? I thought you was trolling.
No.
And then like Nikki went, I was like, wait a minute, are y'all serious? Yes, it earns the R. Like what? Like really? How does it not earn an R rating? I mean, it should be NC-17. What are you talking about? There is blood. It's everywhere. I mean, Tyra, the body exploded at the end of it. Turned into the whole ending of the movie was a horror show. The
When I
body
say R,
exploded.
when I say R&B, that goes for the with the trailer. I thought that this movie was going to be laced, like
Yeah.
completely. And normally when we do have an R rating, it's like it kind of went out of its way to be tamed, and we saved everything for. I'm like, that couldn't have been that ending.
Man,
It
we are in the
wouldn't have
Truman
went.
Show right now. Tyra, this
It was
movie,
tame. It was tame.
this is one of the most violent movies I've seen in the past 5 years. What are you talking
What?
about?
You don't
I,
watch nothing.
I
yes,
guess
I
not. I guess not, man. I don't know if
That's what
if a body explodes on a demon platter. I mean, look at it's Jesus. He's doing Jesus Christ with blood all over him. Like
That's not a
I
lot
don't.
of blood on him.
no.
That's not much.
Okay, well, and then you got football face guy there. I mean, that scene alone is R rated to me.
and then
That was that.
we have the like the trauma situations and the headbutting. We get this visual with it, so we don't, which was creative, but we don't get any blood and like gore there. For the ritualistic themes or whatever they were trying to accomplish here, I really thought this was going to be over the top, violent, like all the way through. We were going to
Y'all
get peaks
crazy.
and valley, and I didn't think that we were going to save it, for a blunt ending of just violence.
I am terrified what y'all think a R rating is because it's just like I would die. I would pass out if I watched that.
Question.
This is crazy.
Question. Don, what about you?
So first with the not Jeff Dunham, whoever this comedian is. I'm so tired of the stunt casting of let's bring in this comedian, the stand-up comedian, to be serious, to be the serious best friend. Because Dave Chappelle did it in some movie. In The Star Is Born, he was just randomly the best friend being serious in A Star Is Born. I'm like, why? It's distracting at this point because I watched this man's actual stand-up work, and I was like, I don't know.
Who's a comedian?
The
This
doctor,
man here.
the doctor.
Oh.
He's a stand-up comedian. I forget his name, but he's actually quite funny.
Jeff something.
Yeah. He got a white man name. He's Australian. But so his whole role, I was expecting him to be funny, and he was kind of funny. But this scene, so this scene is why this scene is the answer to the question. No, it didn't earn this R rating. Absolutely not on no level. The only reason it got an R rating was for the football face scene and the last scene are the only thing that they was like, well, this got to be in the script, so it got to be R rated. If you are walking me, let me tell you, if I am an impressionable college student and you are and a devil white woman is leading me to a seedy motel where just regular seedy motels, unspeakable things happen. But you're leading me. But this is a front for the highest, the most powerful people in professional sports are having a secret party where you said they have rituals going on. I'm expecting the boys level debauchery going on in here. I'm expecting Cam to be so far out of his element that he is overwhelmed with what's going on. Everywhere he looks, it's some weird projectile going into an orifice. Like I'm expecting the wildest thing going on, and then it really wasn't. It was a lot of cussing. That's where the R rating come. It was a lot of foul language, and we didn't get no sex. We had a whole party with this woman's wife, and the most explicit scene we get in this movie that's not violent is Marlon deep throating a pistol. That is the most R rated thing that happens in this movie.
I forgot all about that. Jesus Christ.
I knew it wasn't just me. Like, if you are an avid horror movie
I
watcher
forgot all about that.
and you know where these movies are expected to go, it's buckle your seatbelt. I was like, y'all had free range to kind of go there, and you decided not to.
That's gonna come after he signed a contract, not before.
That's crazy.
You got to lead him in. But
you said this is the most violent movie you see in years.
Okay, I exaggerate a little bit.
I was about to say last year I saw a movie that was set in the apocalypse where people were tearing their skin off. And they were just ripping their skin off, and I'm like, this movie.
What's called? Dumb. What movie is that? What movie is that?
It's called Damned, or it was something with Samara Weaving running away. You know how she be.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one where they couldn't talk?
Yeah, it
Like,
was good.
oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
that
Yeah,
was good.
yeah, violent. B, I'm going to come to you first for
All
these
right.
2 chapters here and what they meant to you. Of
Two.
course, we have the fun, and all I got out of that is we're going to give you this. We're trying to do brotherhood with Marlon, but we getting making sure he gets this combine experience, and it's degrading. And he called him a big yellow N word. I was like, okay, I know where we're going here. But of course, it's mirroring what we always think. Well, what I think when we're getting into football, it's, kind of dehumanizing when we have to go and sit and strip down and we're sizing it up. It's giving slave auction. And then the poise situation, of course, that's us just getting him further and further away. I think that's when he gets his first injection. And I think it was supposed to, say something about, I'm sure y'all know more about free agents than I do, but the desperation was real with this one. They're strong. The force is strong with this one. From what I saw with those men, it looks like since they are free agents, they've been enduring and showing up for situations like this over time and just getting beaten and battered just for maybe an opportunity to say I was, maybe Isaiah give me a one up, maybe I can be a part of the team. So maybe just some commentary on those men in general and things that they endure. I don't know nothing about no free agents.
I thought they were a bunch of cucks. I mean, like you're signing up for this. Come on, man. Like this was one of the more uncomfortable scenes for me. Like, and then not only that, they led me on to think that what was his name, Caleb Cade or Cameron Cade, had that he was saying. I like this reaction at first, like, oh hey, what's going on? What is this? I'm like, okay, thank you.
No, he got cool
He's gonna
with it
get the
real
F
quick.
out of here. Like, I don't want to be a part of this stuff right here. Well, if you don't, we're gonna shoot your mama or something. But they didn't take advantage of that plot point. But no, he just like, okay, I guess this is what we got to do. I mean, I guess this is what I got to do if I want to, make the team. And he just keeps taking footballs to the face. And I'm just thinking, like, how long have y'all been doing this? Y'all are all pathetic weird men for engaging in such activity. I don't want to be here. That's just how I felt when I was watching this. I don't understand what benefit you get for taking a beating that way. I mean, you would get more for staying at home. So I just didn't like it.
I think it left me feeling a little sorry for anybody who's a free agent. I'm like, what are y'all going through? I get the damaged goods and the auction over the slavery on the other side with the fun, but the poise and y'all enduring this to gain what? And when he was laughing, what the hell are you laughing at? Shut up. I was like, oh my
I
God.
love what he said.
Boy.
Um Nikki, what about you? How did you feel? Did you feel any type of way during the fun chapter or the poise one?
I definitely agree with you as far as I feel like the slave auction was pretty blatant. That's why like the contract at the end, I kept being like, he ain't finna sign the slave contract, because I feel like that's something, even if you're not really into football, that has been like a pretty wide conversation and comparison. And then especially just how it starts where he gets naked up there and, well, what, you got a small penis? Like just kind of berating him and doing all of that. Now, I'm not familiar with the free agent, but the men who come in, they get all messed up and knocked around. I don't know if it's my ignorance to football. I was actually really confused because I was like, shouldn't you like save your body for when the season starts? Like if you get all broke up and messed up now, how you even gonna like make it to the game? I don't
Thank you,
know.
Nikki. Thank
But
you.
I felt like what I was getting kind of just with the concept was, how they kind of say that men try to impress like other men. Like it felt like Isaiah isn't only the person that Tariq looks up to. Like all of these men are pretty much salivating at the mouth for his approval. And like, yeah, I'll get hit in the face. Yeah, I'll volunteer. Because that's what it was giving like me. That's what I read for it is it's this testosterone male centered pretty much arena, and we're salivating to get like our god, our idol. We want to get next to him, even if I have to lay my body down for you to like step over. Like I'll take any position I can take. That's what I was getting, but again, I don't really know football.
Don?
Yeah, this was and with no irony intended. This was not only the best scene in the movie. I felt like, and I just noticed you put fun and poise. I didn't realize that they were the name of the chapters. I was like,
Me
oh,
either.
you remembered the name of the chapter.
I went back, okay? We're nothing if not thorough.
I was like, oh, I thought these were just fun little themes that you put in there. But I thought that when I was watching this, I was like, oh, this was the initial idea he had. Like this was the idea he had, and then he tried to build a movie around this scene that popped up in this man's head, because this was to me the most well fleshed out part of the film, in the sense of everything that Nikki said about the cult of personality and them just wanting to be around this man and wanting to be approved. This is, I mean, taking the football to the face is the exaggerative part of it, because we're watching the movie and it's heightened reality. But that's how. Have you seen football fans? Have you met football fans? Sports fans, period. American sports fans and basketball and football, and not all of them, but every fandom has they weird people, and these are weird men who would do anything for, and that's why. And Tom, let it be Tom Brady, let it be prime time, especially in his prime. And you get around these men, and they would, because they gonna leave there, and for the rest of their life, they're gonna talk about how they played with Isaiah White. That's how for 30 years they're gonna tell their son, yeah, man, this one weekend I played with Isaiah White and it got real intense. And not everybody could do that. We can't everybody hang like that. That's the barbershop conversation for the next 30 years. And so to me, this was not only accurate, this was poignant. This was, to me, the inception of the idea that birthed this whole film. It just didn't all come together in every other arm.
Yeah, now that I'm reflecting, this was probably the scene that I enjoyed the most too, along with what we get later with the mock press conference situation and Cam really getting in his feelings. Then, of course, we get into leadership and resilience. And this is like really, I guess, like when we get the bulk of like Marlon really trying to like deliver and act, and it was giving not only just like ridicule, but like it was like his inner subconscious talking. You ain't ish, boy. You ain't your daddy. Da, 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 da. You know, there was all of that, and Cam really having to suppress whatever he was pouring out during the poise era. Because what you mean is he okay? We're not here for that. If you're going to be QB of any team, you can't care about damn near your fellow teammates, anybody on another team. We have to do that. And then that's when you see him get that initial, I think maybe second or third shot, and we're just all revved up. And yeah, boy, and boy, that's when the black sick came. No, that's not right. But that's when he really turned up and was delivering the bravado, because we're getting closer and closer to that Isaiah energy and matching that blood. And then, of course, the next one with the resilience, that's when he's absolutely solid, because he's injecting himself at this point and, doing the deprivation chamber himself and really becoming what Isaiah is representing. And, of course, he's intensifying. That's when we get the Guap 3000 with the gun and that there. And even here on this field in the shooting, because, you are a formidable opponent. I'm really going to have to duke it out with you. And I'm nervous because you could take my spot. And we have the on the nose more conversation that we get here on this field. Dom, I'm going to come back to you.
I felt like at this point Marlon was having a good time. He was like, "I'm just here now to have a good time," and so we're gonna do what we gotta do. The shooting scene irritated my soul, because it's the scene at the time I like leaned forward when he shot the mascot, the costume thing, and we started to move. I literally leaned forward in my seat because I watched this in the theater. I didn't watch it like y'all did, and. and but then when the movie ended, I thought back and I was like, oh, we didn't deal with that at all. Like this man killed somebody, and they didn't play into like what you're willing to sacrifice, the lengths you're willing to go for this. You just killed somebody, and I didn't let you know that you killed somebody. So what was the point of making you kill somebody? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I just wanted to make sense. That's all.
I don't know. I said the same thing. I was like, are we gonna? I was just like, oh, Cam, he's not giving a damn, because he was already having the kiki about the white woman. He almost choked out the crazed fan, almost killed her, and it's funny. As a matter of fact, I'm going to shoot this person, and I'm going to do it head on, because I'm going to be the new QB. B.
I'm like Dom. I don't know. I don't. Remember. I mean, yeah, they was there, but I don't remember what they was talking. Bottom left, like Marlon, I was like, okay, that was some good acting right there. And then the top left, I'm like, he's bleeding. The shooting thing, yeah, I would have forgot, bro. You just reminded me that it didn't make any sense. I'm just, I think that was like the third time I looked to my left and was like, "What the f are we doing?" In this movie. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't have much left.
It's
Um,
fine. I love that you guys like completely checked out because it says a whole lot about the film. Like, cause you try. This is not something that you don't want to support or check out
I
of,
wanted
but
it
you
so
didn't. You
good.
didn't. You didn't give anything. I'm going, Lord, Nikki.
Yeah, I don't know if it's around this part. I've been waiting for you to put the slide up, but is this around the time Buddy was bench pressing in a suit? Like that was
Why? Why?
That was right
again, I
before.
don't even remember that. You got a picture?
No, that was right about, I think, here when we really, from what I felt like, got the best acting out of him, and we realized what we already knew, of course, but what he's really in it and doing it for, and the family and all that stuff. And we referenced the dad. I don't know what the close-ups were with referencing the dad and what they wanted us to do with that. It was a poor stylistic decision. But this is when we get to the sacrificial party and the upskirt and him drinking the Kool-Aid, drinking Isaiah's blood just outright. And of course, he wakes up and we're ready to duke it out. But that's when we do that here. What did the bridge person in the suit bother you?
I mean, I've been waiting for you to pop that slide up because I was just like, do men do like it was just I was like, do men bench press in whole suits?
White suit.
It was crazy. But
Not a
okay,
photo
I
shoot.
agree with B as far well, he can't really remember nothing. But when he talked about Marlon acting, see, I do love when he grabs his helmet and he's like, that was one of the highlights. But I also when we're also talking about that scene, one place where it is still on the nose, but the symbolism kind of worked for me was them staples in his head, pretty much kind of mirroring. I don't know what it's called, but the little things on a
Oh,
football.
the laces. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that was slick.
yeah, I like that, and I'm like stuff like that works more than like the Last Supper type of thing that they
Oh my
did.
god.
Like that didn't work. That's why I'm like, I feel like there were so many great ideas here. And now that Dom said that about he thinks that was the birth of this idea was that scene we talked about, that actually makes a lot more sense. Like him like saying that kind of brought that to my head. But I feel like when we get to that moment, it wasn't as like well done as I would have liked. Like I would love a just like steady descent, like a steady like character arc. But I do feel like that shooting, as much as I was watching it, like what the hell does this have to do with football? I feel like that's supposed to be the moment or one of like those moments around there where we're seeing him slowly getting the demon night blood into that key, and he slowly no longer just the Cam K. Now he got the blood with like Tyra said, I think what Tyra said earlier, where he attacks that white lady. The Cam we met wouldn't have. He was sitting there, he was feeling that, like he was enjoying choking that lady. Then when we're out there and we have the conversation, more of that dialogue that I was talking about, telling the audience everything. When Marlon wagers, he gonna take his youth, and Cam just shoots the person who I think that's the crazed fan that they were shooting. I'm not sure, but that's my speculation.
Right.
But I think symbolically, that's supposed to be the audience realizing how the character of Cam is pretty much like changing. And in that scene also where they're out there on the field, we see more of like Cam really having that aggression when he's playing with them, and he's like, you gotta be a killer. You gotta be a killer. Whatever Marlon was saying. I can't remember.
Pick the man up. Pick him
Yeah,
up.
like like he was really starting to like get into it. And so I feel like that stuff, I get what they were going for. I get the message, what they were trying to tell the audience. We're seeing him, really lose himself and really get into his new role as the Q. What is the QB? I don't know what the letter stand for.
Quarterback.
Okay, thank you. He's really getting into the role of the killer, of the quarterback that Marlon keeps trying to like put in his head. So I feel like all of that stuff works. Like the movie, we don't have to throw everything away. Like some of that stuff, once we get there, it works in my opinion for what the movie is trying to do.
That's what. But I'm glad Nikki said
Now,
something.
hold on, y'all. Let me give B a proper exit before we go off.
Well, I was gonna say, Tara, and thank you, because I did want to say something, but I'm pretty sure you have a slide for the last scene.
Yeah, that's here.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll just be quiet for now, and when y'all bring that up, I'll just give my last little 2 cents. And um, I, 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 because I have to say what I
Well, and there's
want
nothing I want here. This is something that was really disappointing because we put all this stake. The stakes were for him to, because like you said, we get over there and we prep and we inject ourselves. We make every intention to duke it out with Marlon. But prior to that, it's all football and my family and my mom and all of this. But we negated to give any of those people any meaning or personality and put the stakes there to care about if he signed it or not. It just wasn't prevalent in that way. But they were sure to try to tie this so hard to. I really did never want to play football. It was just something that my dad made me do. And of course, it was some whole contractual thing way in the past because the teams were hunting for Cam. He wanted them once, he him. Okay, there was that. But this would have made such a big difference as far as Cam is concerned to me because this was his whole character arc and they did absolutely nothing with it. But that's all here. But by the time we get towards the ending, I was ready to go. I was ready to go and I was over it and I did see it both ways. Dumb, thank you. But I was over it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't know how I be. I'll take you through that. Join the Discord. But I was over it because I knew exactly where we were going. I didn't understand what we were trying to do here if he still needed to kill Marlon. If we were going to go out there, like Nikki said, and not sign the contract, why would we go as far as to kill him? Now, I can understand, like, you coming for me and I'm gunning for you, but there seemed to have been what they wanted us to believe enough rapport to have some type of revelation here of you can be the GOAT. I don't even want it. No, we do this whole thing and we go out there and the acting gets really, really bad. Saying F you and your eyebrows. I was like, what are these? Who wrote that? It just was bad. This is when they went full on Illuminati. I was like, oh, this is what you were waiting for. This is where your R rating was residing. I was over it. They had already fed it to us. They act like they flipped something on us. Like, yeah, I was feeding you the blood this whole time. You had no. We knew all this time. We were not surprised at your agenda, Marlon, and what you were trying to do. And that it was your blood that you were injecting and drinking and giving you this to match, so we can duke it out and it can be on an equal playing field. Because I'm going to show you that I'm the GOAT and we've been doing this for generations and years. It's required to become the GOAT. That was understandable. Once we got out here and he decided to just be baby Jesus, we even went, I think, in a scene like before he gets out here, like his cross is standing, up, and then when he upside down, and when he comes out here and he's holding it down, it adjusts. I was like, what? And it's right side up. I was like, what are you doing? What? This was just such an anticlimactic situation. It was very predictable. It was comical. It felt like a really tragic SNL skit. I just was very upset with the ending and more upset that we got all the way here and I didn't care who the GOAT was. I didn't care for Cam's decision and I didn't even care if Marlon died. I was just ready to walk out of the theater. B?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Times 10. This scene alone deserves bleach, Comet, and any cleaning product. What adding on to what you said was at this point they also remember they threatened his family. They said, you either sign the contract or we're going to kill your family. Why would you threaten somebody's family when they have a weapon and you don't have a weapon at all? Like you would think that you would have at least a pocket knife and a gun, some guards around, but you've enclosed yourself in this area, and the only person that has a weapon, you threaten the most important people in his life, and he just goes around and murders everybody. While half the people are reacting to it, and some are not. I mean, Jesus Christ, like I know this is like some type of cult thing, and maybe they do this every Tuesday, but when you have half of the people running, oh my God, he's crazy, but you still have the cheerleaders, and the other people just kind of just standing in place, watching other people get murdered, and they're just standing there, and their faces are blurred out, and like you, I'm just like, what is this? I am ready to go. This is stupid. This is dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And I just had the whole threatening and you don't have a weapon to defend yourself. I mean, like I don't. That was the icing on the cake.
I was metaphored and symbolic out. I'm just ready to go. and then we have him drag I think it was his agent out into the pentagram, and because we have that beast behind him, that
Yeah,
white thing, you
and the
gotta
explosion.
the beast, and like, no, I'm gonna feed you your own. I'm taking back autonomy and power because I'm Cam. Get away from me.
I mean, like the body explodes, but
Yeah,
the cheerleaders and all that, they don't respond. They just,
nobody's gonna,
you
because
know,
this is all just one big symbolic situation. It was never gonna be there. That's the same reason why the football mask was out there next to the goddamn craze fan. Nikki.
Yeah, I feel like everything about this ending was unearned. We spend the whole movie talking about you got to sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? He overcame everybody super easy. Like this, like, he didn't have to do anything. Work for. Why was a weapon even laying there for him? Like, if this went as planned, what was he supposed to do to what? Like, that didn't make any sense. And like I said earlier, and then I feel like there's a way that a movie telegraphs something that you know is coming that can still. The movie didn't build to anything. You always have that moment in the movie where you know, oh, we're gonna get this final showdown. Like, you know that's coming. If you're watching an action movie, if you're watching a horror, you know the movie is building to this final showdown. The final showdown with Marlon and Tariq, it was unearned. It was anticlimactic, like Tyra said, and it just really grinds my gears that we break. Whether they break his arm or his leg, and then do they regenerate since they have the blood? Like, he didn't act like any, and I mean they broke that mug. He was just acting completely normal, and then I don't like that it's kind of comical. Like, are we supposed to be scared of the cult or not? Like, it was very just goofy. Even baby talking about, oh, I have to do everything, and she just falls on. Like, girl, you didn't even do, like, why you gave that whole speech just to fall? It just really didn't make any sense whatsoever. I just feel like the movie didn't build anything. The ending, first of all, I literally kept saying he ain't finna sign a contract. I just feel like you knew where the movie was going. And when he goes to kill Marlon, he was fighting like he wanted to take over. He wanted that spot. So that's why I'm like, you fighting and then you ain't. It just none of it. You might as well just knock Marlon on the head and then went on out what you were
Or he
doing.
could have walked out afterwards. They could have left it open ended, like, oh, we don't know if he killed him or not. And then after all of this, they walk out together. Because Marlon's whole ambition here is, I love, and I'm gonna watch some videotapes. All right, Norman Bates. I'm gonna go watch.
Speaking of them tapes, he kept
Oh,
mentioning them tapes.
I'm gonna go watch some tapes.
I just knew.
I gotta go watch some tapes. I just was seeing Patrick Bateman. I gotta return some videotapes. I gotta go watch these tapes.
I thought those tapes was gonna really be. I was like, oh, what is he watching?
It was just fans, but that's all he has. Like, he makes it clear, I never was Ish, didn't have Ish any family before I got here. So it would have been nice that maybe I can have that and have that connection with Cam, to where I don't necessarily need to be the GOAT. We're gonna walk out here together. No, or like an after effect. No, he was just dead.
And I did still have some hope for the ending. You know how you watch a movie and it's not very good, but then for somehow the third act brings it home, and you're like, oh wow,
for the third act, Nikki.
Man, I was really hoping they were finna pull something out, but I was just like, this, like, oh my god! And it's just like the thing that really bothered it was easy. He didn't get a scratch on him. Like, he easily overcame all those people out there. And even the moment where Buddy is sneaking up behind him, I said, he know that guy behind him. He finna get, like, everything was just so easy for the movie to just keep talking about sacrifice. He didn't have to do anything to. He beat the devil, child, and it was just real easy.
Because he's him, and it's symbolic. Because Julia Fox came out there, she fell on her knife and killed herself because white women are a detriment to. Shut up, Justin! Please go away from me with this.
And was that more symbolism? You know that old saying about falling on your own sword?
Okay. That's what I thought, but it was unearned like everything else here. Dumb.
This movie pissed me. This is the part of the movie that pissed me off, because you could be a bad movie, because movies are hard to make. And so a good movie is a miracle. And so, but this was all borderline disrespectful, because you forgot. Because I watch a lot of sci-fi. I'm not as big into horror as like y'all are, but I'm real big into sci-fi. I'm real big into fantasy, and I'm so world building is essential. Whenever you create in a new world, you got to create rules, and you gotta follow them rules. So what you can't do is give me a movie who that's 2/3 of maybe it's some ritual stuff. Maybe it might be, I don't know if it's going to be supernatural or it's just really good devotion. It's culty stuff, but I don't know if it's real supernatural or they just believe in the supernatural. And then at the end, you go full on, there's a demon overlord that's who was you sacrificing to that why because when the agent fell in the circle and was held down by the demon that apparently we all are subjected to, that we've never been introduced to up until this point, we didn't know that there was a higher power above the evil white people. And so and so that he just all of a sudden, I'm leaving here with something, like it's just ridiculous out of left field. But even on a structural story level, this movie forgot the main rule when you make a sports movie. Whenever you make a sports movie, whether it's Challengers, whether it's Any Given Sunday, whatever it is, any sports movie, the story, everything's about the sport except what it's really, you know what I'm saying? It's not about the sport. The whole movie is about the sport except what it's really about. And so, and so they forgot what this movie is about. They actually just made it about football. They introduced all these extra random as concept that could have been interesting, but then didn't follow up on it. So that's why they were pulled in 15 different directions. This movie irritated me so much because why? Because I had so many lore questions. Like,
questions.
well, because you tried to introduce all of this cool history, like we've been passing down blood from and it's been here since the beginning of the league. I don't care if it's 50 years. You got 4 years. I would say the league isn't that old. The league is not that old. People are alive who remember the beginning of the league. Like, it's not like the Lions have never won a Super Bowl because it ain't been around that long. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just I thought he was about to say since America or something. It reminded me, and it's funny that this was produced by Jordan Peele, so that's why it wasn't edited out, because it reminded me of the end of Us, when I'm liking Us. Us is great, and then he shows us the underground, and he does all this extra explaining of the other side that's too much, unnecessary, and proposes more questions than answers. And you should have just not showed us. Yeah, all of this last scene should have been left on the table. We should have just pulled it out the script. That should have just stayed in your head. We didn't need to know none of that. And is it Jesus metaphor or is it Jesus? Is it symbolism or is it literal? Like, are we doing a Jesus allegory or are we Jesus? Like, you gotta pick a lane and stick to it. But they were just like, we want it all. We want it all. This is it. This is a $100 million 2-hour Hype Williams video, and it irritated my soul.
Thank you so much, Dom. Y'all, that was the discussion for all things him. Hopefully you got what you needed. Nikki, I'm gonna come to you first if you want to tell the people what you have going on, maybe about your film. And with our last question, does this have any rewatch quality?
I think this has high rewatch quality because the type of audience I am, I always like to rewatch movies that I hate, because sometimes I didn't like Cabin in the Woods when I saw it in theaters, but on rewatch, I love that movie. Like, I don't know, sometimes you just get a different vibe, you get something different. Marlon came out defending the negative reviews, saying none of his movies were received very well critically, but they went on to be classics. Sometimes, you sit with something and I would rewatch it. I don't know. I would. But thank you, Tyra, for having me. Thank you to everyone who's here. My channel is King Nikki, and I have a review up on all the recent horror movies together. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I did a tier list ranking my favorite unhappy endings in horror or movies in general. And I do have my very first short film coming out soon. It is a horror short film called Apples. We are in post-production. The first like rough edit is done, so probably 2-ish months it'll be available for the public to, we can have B Avery them ridicule it and say how awful it is. Thank you guys so much, and say hey to my baby. Say hey to my baby.
Baby. Not have be ridicule it. B, are you ready to ridicule? And I'm going to come to you to let the people know what you have coming. And would you rewatch this movie?
You could not pay me to rewatch this movie. I just didn't like it. Other besides the casting and the performances by the two main leads. But other than that, it was just a hot mess. And I wouldn't watch this again. You couldn't pay me. It's not rewatchable. It's just a bad film overall. But shout out to the director. I mean, this is the second time up to bat. He still did better than I could. Actually, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to see. Give me the right budget and resources. They have to make something shake. But
so devastated.
as far as like what I have coming out, what is his name? The Scott Adkins has a martial arts movie called Prisoner of War. I'm gonna be finished editing that video as soon as I'm done with this right here. Probably post that tonight or tomorrow. I do have my thoughts on Marvel Zombies that dropped earlier today. I really enjoyed that as well. There's a new series right now on Netflix called Wayward, coming out with Tommy Collette. Wasn't my favorite. I have some things to say, and I'm pretty sure people are going to call me bigoted, but I got to get it off my chest. I'm hoping Tara will cover it. I'm curious on her thoughts on that. It's just knowing your cup of tea. Let me know if you've heard of it. And what else is coming out this week? There's one more thing, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, of course. Friday we have a new Netflix series, or not series, but movie, Ruth and Boaz. It is produced by Tyler Perry. It's not directed or written, but it got black people, and TP is the producer, so I'm gonna check that out as well. So that's what and I got some other stuff I'm cooking. I'm cooking in the kitchen, but I'm gonna keep that on close to my chest right now. But yeah, if you're into any of that, come through, subscribe, thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section. Love to have you.
Thank you, B. And y'all be on the lookout for that movie. I will definitely be checking out Wayward. It's on my radar. Yeah, Diamond from the Pank is going to be over there in that movie. So yeah.
I finished it this morning, so
Okay.
I can't wait.
Last but not least, Does this movie have any rewatch quality? And what do you have going on in the TikTok streets?
This this movie has massive rewatchability in about 15 years when the lead character is the biggest name in Hollywood, and we gotta do a look how far he come, and we go back and watch his real bad movie that he did before he blew up. That's the rewatchability this movie's gonna have. Or if I'm drinking and I show this movie to somebody who hasn't seen it, this is a good movie to drink and talk through. But other than that, no. But over here, what we got coming up is one. I did a slight rebrand because I've been in the TikTok space for a while, been doing my thing, and then I'm coming back to YouTube, and so I we got a brand unity, so I changed my YouTube name. So Cinematic Pain is my name on everything. So, and I'm coming back to YouTube with the morning show on Apple TV Plus. It's one of my favorite shows. So I'm doing a week by week episode breakdown of the morning show. When we get done, I'm gonna finish editing that. So episode 2 will be up tonight. I saw the Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor movie, one battle after another. So I'm gonna have that review up this week. That was great. I just finally saw The Long Walk, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna talk about it because people be saying I make everything about race. And I got some thoughts on my boy in this movie and him being a magical Negro.
He was.
But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got coming up. So come over on the Cinematic Pain, over on the YouTube and TikTok. We're gonna have a good time.
The most magical of Negroes. He was over there singing Negro spiritual. Is he humming?
It was crazy.
No, that's another thing. Leading off of what Dom said, be on the lookout tomorrow. Ashley and I will be doing our live discussion for the morning show. They finally brought it back around for what we can see in this most recent season, and we're really enjoying talking about it. So be here for that. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to go over to all of these great creatives and invest in what they have going on and watch some of their videos and support and subscribe. And we're definitely gonna be back one day for something hopefully good. Maybe Wayward's good, I don't know.
Wait a minute, Tyra, are you gonna rewatch him?
Oh, you want no, I'm cool. I see. I'm cool. I'm cool. I got my feel for it, and maybe it'll be something. They say stuff grows in appreciation over time. So maybe 15 years, it's like, you know what? We really didn't see him for what it was. It could be amazing. Who knows? But we'll be here for when that happens. But thank you guys so much for engaging with us tonight. Make sure you come back tomorrow when Ashley and I are discussing the morning show, and we'll definitely see you guys next time for something interesting. Y'all have a good night.
チャンネルのゴルフボーイ